Welcome to MojoPlays, and today we're counting down our picks for the 20 best video games all about ghosts and the supernatural. Be prepared for plenty of fun and spooky spectral shenanigans. Before we begin, we publish new content all week long, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. The Haunted Mansion.
He's in no position to be choosing.
Do you think he's ready for something like this?
I mean, come on, it's a game about Disney's The Haunted Mansion. Of course it's going to be all about ghosts and supernatural shenanigans. This 3D adventure game sees you step into the bumbling shoes of Zeke, a quirky chap who is searching for a caretaker job, one that leads him to the eponymous mansion. This game is bursting at the seams with all things supernatural, from the 999 spooky specters, to creepy spiders, to howling banshees, to singing statues, and so much more. The Haunted Mansion is a solid go-to game if you are looking for a ghostly fix. The Vanishing of Ethan Carter.
In Red Creek Valley, the secrets grew like spider webs, and Ethan Carter disturbed one he shouldn't have.
The Vanishing of Ethan Carter is a mysterious and often spooky first-person detective-driven adventure game. The game revolves around paranormal investigator Paul Prospero, who has special insights into the other side. Upon returning to his hometown of Red Creek Valley, he learns about a boy, Ethan, who has sadly gone missing under strange supernatural occurrences. Your time playing this game will center on exploration of the gorgeously haunting open areas, in tangent with using Paul's paranormal powers to solve the many mysteries at play here.
Something coming from the Vandergriff house.
Ethan disturbed the sleeper.
Ghostwire Tokyo.
You see things others can't.
Ghostwire Tokyo is a strange blend of magic / supernatural first-person shooting and open-world exploration. This ghostly tale, taking place in a haunted Tokyo setting, sees most of the city's population vanishing due to some nefarious occult business. While the game does lean a bit too much on the exhausted open-world tropes many of us are getting tired of seeing, it's still held aloft by the immersive paranormal powers of protagonist Akito, the game's spooky narrative, the creepy, if often repetitive enemy types, and a plethora of fun supernatural upgrades. ScoobyDoo Night of 100 Frights. The Mystery Inc. gang find themselves at Mystic Manor after being summoned by one of Daphne's pals, Holly Graham. It's here that the Scooby gang get captured, and it's now up to Scooby-Doo to save the day, while putting a stop to the dastardly deeds going on behind the scenes. This beloved 2002 game is just dripping with ghostly / supernatural vibes and ambiance all around, all within a great cartoony context, like you are playing through an episode of the show. Scouring the myriad spooky locales while pummeling ghosts, ghouls, and other goons is a real treat. Plus, the more abilities and Scooby snacks you hoover up, the more you get to explore Mystic Manor and its diverse zones.
I don't know. There was a spooky groundskeeper.
A spooky groundskeeper?
Yeah, and ghosts and monsters.
Layers of Fear. The first-person horror walking sim adventure game Layers of Fear is so darn creepy, offering up endless frightful moments, especially given how the Victorian Gothic mansion you find yourself in warps and twists the more you dive deeper into its artistically driven horrors. Stepping into the shoes of a very much down-and-out artist who seeks to paint his harrowing and ominous magnum opus, it quickly becomes clear that this mansion is unbelievably haunted. Layers of Fear is a game hell-bent on immersing you in its terrifying atmosphere, interlaced with quieter, subtle, more bespoke moments to ensure that you are always on edge. Then, when you do encounter a ghostly visage as you explore the labyrinthian mansion, your hairs will quickly stand on end. Layers of Fear is a beautifully haunting canvas for all things that go bump in the night.
Hey! Shut up!
You deserve this.
Guist. Guist is one of those incredibly rare Nintendo-published mature games and is a real treat on the Nintendo GameCube, a game that blends ghostly possession powers with intense first-person shooting action. Guist, which means ghost in German, is equal parts inventive and deeply engaging. Our protagonist, John Raimi, heads off to France in order to rescue an undercover agent. However, things very quickly go awry and John finds himself possessed by a nefarious spirit. John is now able to leap into the bodies of others, and heck, even inanimate objects, in order to have them do his bidding, which leads into the core moment-to-moment gameplay. Guist is a stylish game that, while not really all that scary, has plenty of supernatural elements to make it worth your while. Infliction Extended Cut. Infliction Extended Cut is one of the very best horror games around that barely anyone talks about. Now, this is really unfortunate since this demonically infused first-person horror experience is brimming at the seams with ghostly encounters and horrifying supernatural occurrences. Taking place in a rather mundane suburban home, Infliction sees you play as a husband who has let dark, ominous, and evil powers invade him and his home, causing him to murder his wife in dark fashion. This might just be one of the most unnerving horror games around, mostly down to impeccable audio design where every single ghostly whisper, moan, and scream embeds itself in your subconscious, as you seek to exorcise the vengeful spirit from the home. Infliction will surely stick in your mind long after the credits roll. Murdered Soul Suspect.
A serial killer is terrorizing the normally sleepy streets of Salem.
This crude drawing of a bell has been left at the scene of several murders,
leading police to refer to the murderer as the Bell Killer.
What immediately sets Murdered Soul Suspect apart from other third-person adventure games is its unique, spooky, and moody fictionalized Salem, Massachusetts setting. This game's ghostly premise smacks you in the face right from the get-go, as we see Detective Ronan O'Connor get murdered by the infamous Salem Bell Killer. But Ronan pops out of his body after his unfortunate murder in order to solve the mystery of the Bell Killer, at the behest of his deceased wife. Ronan's non-corporeal form allows him to glimpse behind the veil in order to solve supernatural cases and unravel the many hauntings of Salem with plenty of wit, guile, and stealth.
You can never be too careful in this place. That just because you couldn't see something didn't mean it wasn't there. Hidden in the darkness, watching, waiting.
Ghost Hunter. 2003's Ghost Hunter is an odd duck of a game, one that feels like a product of its time, but not in a bad way. Equal parts third-person action horror and campy B-movie schlock, Ghost Hunter is sort of like a more hard-boiled version of Ghostbusters. Lazarus Jones accidentally unleashes a host of imprisoned ghosts, much to the chagrin of a sentient computer deep in the bowels of Montse High. Thus begins Lazarus's supernatural adventure to battle ghosts, hoover them up, and ultimately restore the balance that he threw off. Ghost Hunter is definitely janky and rough around the edges, but what it lacks in gameplay perfection, it makes up for in quirky 2000s era comedy action horror. Control. Remedy really do know a thing or two about crafting a surreal, otherworldly cinematic experience. While the Alan Wake games certainly have a lot of ghostly supernatural stuff going on, for our money it's Control that really takes the haunted cake. Set in the Federal Bureau of Control, a governmental agency that studies paranormal phenomena, we play as new director recruit Jesse Faden. It's here in the Bureau, specifically the oldest house, that Jesse learns of the dark designs at play. However, she is aided by her powerful weapons and abilities. By finding objects of power, Jessie can wield supernatural powers to aid her in her battle against the Hiss. Control perfectly blends paranormal ideas with governmental intrigue to great effect. It's action-packed, brimming with creepy moments, and jam-packed with mysteries to unravel.
Information on the astral plane is classified, but we can talk in broad strokes.
Detention. For a more somber, poignant, and melancholic, yet still terrifying supernatural tale, then look no further than 2017's Detention. Detention's artistic, atmospheric horror centers around Taiwanese martial law during the 1960s. The game takes place in a haunted school where a pair of students unwittingly find themselves trapped by oppressive otherworldly beings. The Taiwanese cultural influences on this game ensures it's wholly unique from any other similar 2D horror adventures. It's a game steeped in darkness, rituals, curses, and feelings of isolation and dread. Detention is one of those methodical, slower-paced horrors that scares players via its supernatural occurrences as well as its overarching martial law/governmental regime themes. The Dark Side Detective.
Only one team can protect us from total annihilation.
Now, switching gears to a more lighthearted tone set within the parameters of a pixel art point-and-click adventure game is The Dark Side Detective. This game is just so darn charming, mixing quirky, campy humor with engaging, challenging puzzles and exploration. Clearly inspired by the likes of Twin Peaks, The Dark Side Detective tasks you to play as Detective Francis McQueen. Instead of taking on traditional cases, Detective McQueen and his partner Dooley work for the neglected Dark Side Division. The duo is tasked with picking up the paranormal cases, no matter how outlandish, creepy, or absurd they are. With fun play-on-words cases such as Malice in Wonderland, Disorient Express, and Poltergeist, this gem of a game will sink its paranormal hooks into you right away. The Mortuary Assistant.
Nope. New job. I'm getting out of here.
Gosh darn it, this game is a real doozy. Easily one of the scariest games around. I mean, I guess it should come as no surprise, given that you play as a newly hired mortuary assistant at Riverfield's Mortuary, who just so happens to be haunted by demons as soon as she steps foot in the accursed location. The cornucopia of demonic entities in this game will constantly keep you on edge as you go about your mundane, something I say in very heavy quotes, mortuary work with the various bodies. It's the complete randomness of scares in the game that will make it stand out. Well, that and the fact that many of the horrors appear for just a brief moment and in the corner of your vision, making you question if you actually saw an entity there stalking you. Trying to figure out the correct body, the correct demonic sigil, and the correct supernatural tendencies is challenging and incredibly unnerving.
We'll get started. You'll die here.
What was that?
I didn't say anything. You all right?
Oxenfree series.
Come on, let's explore. Hey, what's the... Ow.
Night School Studios' Oxenfree and Oxenfree 2 Lost Signals are paranormally drenched 2.5D adventure games that never seem to get just enough time in the spotlight, despite being polished and well crafted. The Oxenfree games are just as much about relationships as they are about paranormal disturbances. The games mostly revolve around branching dialogue, exploration, and environmental deduction, specifically when it comes to radio frequencies and supernatural portals. The way these games weave intricate narratives, strong character arcs, and mesmerizing environmental puzzle gameplay is nothing short of top-notch. Oh, and that art style? Yeah, it's really darn good too.
Listen to me. You have to turn it off. Do you understand me?
Wait, what is that?
Ghost Trick Phantom Detective. What a truly wacky game Ghost Trick Phantom Detective is. Have you ever wanted to play as an amnesiac ghost who must figure out his own death while solving oodles of creative and crafty puzzles along the way? Well, if you happen to answer yes to that hyper-specific question, then this game is for you. As Sissel, you can switch back and forth between the real world and a ghost world in order to gather evidence, discover new info, come up with puzzle solutions, and hopefully save some lives along the way. Sissel can utilize his supernatural powers for both his advantage and to help others he encounters. The way this game either hinders or helps Sizzle's movement and interaction, depending on what world you're in, is ingenious and fun. So what are you waiting for? Get out there and solve the many conundrums. Ghostbusters, the video game, 2009. I mean, could we really have an entire list about ghosts and the supernatural in video games without at least mentioning a Ghostbusters game? I think not. 2009's aptly named Ghostbusters, the video game, is a lot of fun. Combining action-adventure with third-person shooting elements, this game centers around a new recruit to the ghost hunting squad. The game features oodles upon oodles of paranormal shenanigans to contend with across its many stages. Now, what really helps this game stand out is the fact that many Ghostbusters cast members lend their voices and likenesses, so it really does feel like you are playing through one of the fantastic films.
Easy there. Almost crossed the screen. You play hardball, Rook.
Phasmophobia. The first-person multiplayer ghost hunting title really took the world by storm when it was released, mostly because many streamers and YouTubers were quick to jump on the supernatural bandwagon. Teamwork is critical in Phasmophobia as you and your paranormal pals suit up, pick your ghost hunting tools and equipment, learn about the haunted locale, uncover the mystery behind the type of supernatural entity doing the haunting, and finally, hopefully, trying your darndest to catch said entity, be it a demon, a spirit, a poltergeist, or some other creepy variant. The breadth of content in Phasmophobia is staggering. No two paranormal investigations will ever feel the same, with some of them becoming increasingly terrifying, while others just devolve into pure comical madness. It's good times. Fear series. Fear, or First Encounter Assault Recon if you want to get fancy about it, is a paranormally infused, intense first-person shooter that is just as impressive today as it was way back in 2005, especially because of its solid gunplay, perfectly scripted scares, and highly intelligent AI. The supernatural star of the show in the Fear games is the uber-creepy Alma, a hauntingly menacing, ghostly force to be reckoned with. Her prominence in the first Fear game, as well as its excellent sequel, Fear 2 Project Origin, is simply sublime. Unfortunately, Fear 3 wasn't all that great and went for more of a by-the-numbers FPS experience. But those first two games are an unholy blend of gritty action shooter and full-on horror that definitely shouldn't be missed.
Roger, standing by. What the hell was that?
Someone's here.
Luigis Mansion series. You could really take your pick of any of the Luigi's Mansion games and you would have a good time. The OG Luigi's Mansion from the GameCube set the stage for what would become a beloved family-friendly supernatural series. Luigi's first ominous foray into the titular mansion was so unique and refreshing. Instead of platforming around like his brother does, Luigi dons the poltergeist in order to clear out the ghostly presence. Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon and its Switch HD version, as well as Luigi's Mansion 3, would iterate and build upon the OG formula to great success, with Luigi's Mansion 3 really standing out on the Nintendo Switch. The third iteration sees Luigi at the Last Resort Hotel in order to save his pals from nefarious baddies. Moving between the creatively and intricately designed hotel floors provides so much fun as you, once again, hoover up spooky specters with the poltergeist. But this time around, you aren't alone. You have Luigi by your side to aid you in your ghostly adventure. Fatal Frame series. Often revered in the same vein as the Resident Evil or Silent Hill series, the Fatal Frame franchise is a stone-cold classic, especially if you fancy yourself some terrifying Japanese horror. The original 2001 Fatal Frame, also known as Project Zero, Fatal Frame 2 Crimson Butterfly, and Fatal Frame 3 The Tormented are the entries being highlighted here, since this original trilogy is still the best of the bunch, hands down. Taking place in various Japanese-inspired haunted mansions and houses, shrines, and forested area, amongst other spooky locales, the Fatal Frame games quickly became the talk of the town due to the camera obscura. You see, instead of shooting or pummeling baddies like you would in some similar survival horror games, in Fatal Frame you use the camera obscura to snap photos of ghostly visages in order to cleanse and destroy their harrowing presence. Getting up close and personal with these ominous specters as you try to snap the perfect Fatal Frame was, and still is, incredibly scary. So, do you agree with our picks for this list? There are a staggering variety of games that feature ghosts and the supernatural. Which ones do you think are worth mentioning? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for watching this video from MojoPlays. If you do want to see more from us, then be sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss out on our daily gaming videos.